Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going deep on one of the most common and, honestly, most costly disasters any homeowner can face. We're going to break down what really happens when water gets into your house and the incredible science it takes to fight it. So let's start with a question. What do you think is the single most destructive force in your home? Now, forget fire or wind for a second. What's the one thing that can quietly, systematically, just take your house apart from the inside out, often before you even know it's happening? Yep, we're talking about water. And the kind of damage we're digging into today, it isn't always some big, dramatic flood. Nope. A lot of the time, it starts as this silent, creeping problem, a slow leak that works its way right into the very bones of your home. And that, right there, is the real problem. It's not always about the pipe that suddenly bursts. It's about all those little unseen vulnerabilities, the hidden pathways that basically give water a free pass to come on in and make itself at home. Now have a look at this, because these are some of the real culprits, and they're usually hidden where you'd never think to look. We're talking about stuff like the clay soil right outside your house acting like a sponge against the foundation. Or maybe construction crews rushing a job and not sealing a crawl space properly. These aren't accidents, they're basically ticking time bombs built right into the structure. And this quote just nails the environmental factor. Even a tiny leak is fighting this constant uphill battle. In a humid place, the air is already jam-packed with moisture, so wet drywall or wood, they just can't dry out on their own. The water gets in, and then it has absolutely nowhere to go. It's trapped. Okay, so let's get into the crisis phase. Let's see how that small problem can spiral out of control, because the second that water breaches your home's defenses, a clock starts ticking. And believe me, it is ticking fast. So here's the bottom line. When a restoration company says speed is everything, that is not a marketing gimmick. It's a scientific necessity. The moment those materials get wet, a biological chain reaction kicks off. This is exactly why an immediate response is so critical. Think about this. In just 20 minutes, bacteria colonies can actually start to double. Give it a day, maybe two, and mold can start to grow. And after just 3 days, that gorgeous hardwood floor could be permanently warped. The difference of just 1 day can mean repairing something versus having to carry it all out and replace it. And it's not just about how much water there is, it's what kind of water it is. The pros break it down into 3 categories. You've got category 1, which is clean water, say from a broken supply line. Then things get a bit sketchy with category 2, gray water, like from a dishwasher, which has detergents and other gunk in it. And then you've got category 3, black water. This is the really bad stuff, sewage, floodwater, and it's a serious health hazard. So how in the world do you fight back against all this? Well, this is where we pivot from the crisis to the control. It's where the chaos gets replaced by some cold, hard science. Look, anybody can rent a carpet cleaner and point some fans at a wall. That's not what we're talking about. True professional restoration is this precise, data-driven science. It's all about manipulating the environment inside your home to literally force moisture out of the structure. And the science at the heart of it all is called psychrometrics. It sounds complicated, but it's basically the study of how temperature and humidity are related. Technicians use this to create the perfect drying conditions, turning the air itself into a giant invisible sponge that is scientifically engineered to be drier than your wet walls. This pulls the moisture right out of the building materials in a totally controlled and predictable way. And this whole scientific approach follows a really strict 3-phase process. Step 1, get all the standing water out, fast. Step 2, that controlled scientific drying we just talked about, and then, and only then, after everything is proven to be dry, can you move on to step 3, the final repairs. You have to do them in that exact order. No skipping ahead. So, what's the end game with all of this science and heavy-duty equipment? Well, it's not about just making things feel dry. It's about hitting very specific, documented numbers. Numbers like this one. 15%. That's the industry standard goal for how much moisture can be left in drywall for it to be considered truly and safely dry. Technicians use these calibrated meters to prove they've hit the target. And this isn't just for show. It's the documented proof for your insurance company that the job is done right and, this is the big one, that the threat of mold coming back has been eliminated. All right, let's talk about that final stage, putting everything back together. This is where your home gets returned to how it was before the mess, and it's all governed by its own set of professional standards. Now, this is a really important distinction to get. Water mitigation is the emergency response. Think of it like the ER doctors stopping the bleeding. They're extracting water, drying things out. Water restoration, on the other hand, is the reconstructive surgery that happens after. That's the rebuilding, replacing drywall, painting, the whole shebang. Two very different but connected phases. And here's the thing. A legitimate professional company isn't just making this stuff up as they go. They operate from a strict playbook of standards that are designed to protect you, the homeowner. We're talking about things like the IICRC S500, which is basically the Bible for this industry, plus proper state licenses, and using specific estimating software that insurance companies know and trust. Ultimately, what all this boils down to is documentation. Every single step, from the first thermal images showing where the water is to the daily moisture readings, it all gets recorded. This creates a paper trail, and that paper trail is what proves to your insurance carrier that the work was absolutely necessary and that it was done to the right standard. It's the key to getting your claim approved without a huge fight. Understanding this whole process, from the silent threats to the scientific solution, it moves you from that feeling of panic to a place of empowerment. It gives you the knowledge to ask the right questions. So the final thought I want to leave you with is this. Knowing what you know now, what's the first thing you're going to check for in your own home tonight?